Hi and welcome back to my solo playthrough of Galactic Era, and of course I somewhat messed things up. Nothing entirely bad, but simply some things I need to correct. First of all, this domination card. I kind of misunderstood the tracker here on the main round track. That is, you are not getting a new card, you can exchange an existing card. Of course I could consider that, but I think there are far worse cards out there, and let me try to hold on to this. So good thing is that I didn't really check it out yet, so we'll simply put it back on top of the deck only as of the third era. Then we will get our second card, or we can still replace the card we have in our hand in case we have played one of our cards already. So that was that. Nothing really major. Then an actual correction on my 2 turns here. First of all, I think when I have taken over Bernard Star here, this was an advanced civilization. And instead of only placing 1 disc in here if we're allying with them, I mean, it says it right here, we get to place 3 discs on those in total. And this also means that the ship production action would have granted me yet an additional ship because we have made it over this threshold here. So let's fix that as well. So in total we have now 4 ships at our homeworld. Again, nothing major, but still, let's not try to cheat myself here. Apart from that, I think I was doing okay rules-wise, so yay to that. So we should be able to keep going. Again, we are not exchanging our domination card, and I think, yeah, the genetic farmers are the starting player now because they, the slavers, decided to put them at the back of the game turn. Not really on the back, on the second places. I'm still last, of course. So again, being last in these kind of games is usually not a bad thing because you know what the other players were doing, right? So you can really respond to a lot of things. Being first can be detrimental at some point in time. Sometimes you want to reach stuff first, but yeah, again, it's always this kind of balancing. But anyway, they are the first here, so we are rolling their movement die accordingly. That's a 2, which means each ship moves to or as close as possible to the nearest star other than the one it may be at already. So yeah, basically, and this is the thing in these this AI. In some instances it seems they're moving a little aimlessly around the board here, but I think that's the nature of this solo mode. They're not really here to score points, they're just there to either hinder us or be in the way or really helping us in respect to some of the traits. They are just around making some more or less chaotic decisions, but honestly I take that. I'm really totally fine with that. So the nearest star, I think that's pretty much this one here. Yeah, I'm relatively certain that is right. This is 4 spaces. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, they're here, but which means we could trade again, for example. Something to consider. The problem is I think we are on the same level on our tech tree, so neither of us can learn from each other. But that's basically their movement. Let's do the same for the slavers. That's a 1. And I think a 1, was it the high or the low results that were terrible in this game? Yeah, no, I think that's bad. If at peace with you, they first declare war on you. All ships then move to or as close as possible to the nearest one of your stars. So this means that we are flipping over our marker with the red player. We do the same for our marker at the red player, so we are now officially at war. And then all the ships move 3 spaces closer to our star systems. The one question I'm having right now is this fleet here could reach me, and the rules do not really specifically say if because it's both 1, 2, 3. It's really the shortest route towards my star spaces, right? 1, 2, 3, or is this the closest? Again, ultimately it doesn't matter too much if they're not coming to me or not, because I can always retreat as I have the higher propulsion value, so I can outrun them basically every time. I'm not sure in this case, so I will play it, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 like here, because otherwise it would be even beneficial for me, so I could then evade into this space and would be closer to something else, right? Maybe Channing, if you're watching this, let me know if I should have rolled this one here randomly, because I think they're both equal distance. from that star system here. So would I go left or right? Basically, that's what I'm asking. But anyway, then we have this fella here, or this, it's not really a fleet. We have to be specific. This is still 5 ships that are moving. 1, 2, 3. So they're moving over here, but that's their movement done as well. So no combat again. So now it's over to me. And I definitely want to move here to Giza 581. So we are basically revealing them both. Okay, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. So we have an alien artifact and we have an advanced civilization, which would give me 3 more discs. The problem is 3 discs wouldn't... I could do something with that. I could build some defenses there actually. But in this case, I don't get the ancient or the alien artifact before I really colonize this world. This would simply increase my robotics by 1, which would be huge, giving me more fleets, capabilities and whatnot. The problem really still is I can't deploy starships at a world that have fewer, or at worlds that have fewer than 4 discs. So right now this would be a 3. There are ways to do growth, and I think I have to take the growth action, maybe also the ship's action, to somewhat protect me here, because there are 2 ships that are coming to me. So this could be pretty bad actually. But that was only 1 ship that moved here. Down here, I will move in here. I will peek also another. Oh wow, that's really a lot of these worlds. And I think I will pull this one here back, right? Unless again, I'm now deciding to flip over to the dark side. Can I do that? Maybe. We should have a look at our dark era here. First of all, we would gain a point if at the end of the round if we are an STS player, basically an evil character. Then we would get 1 point for each other player we are at war with at the end of the round. Right now we are at war with the slavers, so that would be another point. Then we would gain 2 points for every star that we have taken away from another player outside of our home sector. That is, sector are the big tiles. And then I think we are getting 2 points for each battle that we are winning, also outside of our home region or of our home sector. So there would have been a reason basically to not evade, but with 1 ship there wouldn't have been a chance. Again, the combat in this game is deterministic and I would have lost, simple as that. So there's nothing to gain. So does this help me in any way? Knowing what I'm knowing. Again, taking this one over would bring me closer to our spatial goal. We have to own 10 stars. Not sure, does this include my home world? I think so. It's a star. It's a star. So we had theory we would gain this. So 1, 2, this is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would really take ages. Maybe we'll simply go for the B effect here, simply to score some points. 10 is really aggressive actually in this instance, especially. There are really not an awful lot of systems out there and I have to really go crazy on military. Maybe I should have done so. Maybe that was already a weak choice. I mean, the extra point just for being evil. The thing is, we would lose one of our precious growth actions. That's the thing, right? So that's really something that we have to consider now. Oh boy, what are we doing? I mean, let's do that. Come on. 1, 2, 3. We are moving over here. We are scouting. Okay, that's an empty world. We can take this one over with our progenitor special ability, which is a free colonize action. We have 3 more to go. Not even sure if I would be able to use that in this playthrough. Actually, I don't know how many of these empty worlds are out there. I mean, we could move them up here and simply hope for the best, but I don't think that this is worth it. I think on the... or should we move this fella up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to strengthen this sector, because they could come for me twice, actually, right? Both fleets would come in, and you first move and then you combat. Let's do that. This is so tempting, getting this planet here. And we want to switch sides. But do we want to switch sides this round? We can still do that next round, maybe. It's so tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't still move through that neutron star here. We need propulsion level 5 or 6 in order to do so. Yeah, that's that. I think we will stop moving here. We are not combating anyone, right? We also can't declare war against genetic farmers here, because we are also a peaceful civilization at this point in time, and in only very few instances are we allowed to declare war. Either they're declaring war against us, the genetic farmers will never do that. Or we can declare war as part of a blocking action. So if the slavers will take over or subjugate over another planet and we happen to be present, we could then at that point in time block their action, yeah, basically just to declare war. But we are now already at war against the slavers, so that wouldn't help us either. We can always try to make peace with the slavers, but on the next roll of one, they will get after us again, right? But okay then, let's move into the growth phase. I think this time we may not want to research. We have really a lot to do. So if we want to protect this planet up here and take it over, which again might not be it's really giving us the research here, I think we shouldn't research this round because we get it. So we will definitely go for gaining a planet. We only need to have one ship in here, so that's totally fine. We will also use one of our progenitors action to gain basically another one, but we have to do that down here at Alpha Centauri because we can only use it to colonize. That's at least my understanding, and also makes sense thematically. Then we still have one more. Oh no, I see that now. Of course, we can't grow and we can't build ships now. Oh, that's a problem. That's really a problem. But for sure, we will definitely go first. So, okay, that could still help us. We could bring some folks up, but I want that star. I really do want that star for sure. I mean, they might not come for us, right? Should we grow now? We can't build ships there. That's the problem. We need 4 discs at this sector to build a ship there. That's really the bummer. If we would had researched our robotics to level 4 here, we would have been allowed to build ships at own stars with 3+ population. All the way up here, we can basically do that everywhere at each of our stars. So right now we don't have the shipyard here, but I think I want to gain the star action. That much is clear. But then are we going to go heavily on fleet or not? Or should we really start growing, which would also make their lives a little bit... Okay, that could work actually. No, that could work. Let's do the growth action and we can decide on where we grow later, or at least where we gain the bonus growth, for example. I think for this world up here, that should be pretty much a non-problem. And we can do these things in any order we see fit. But still, the starting player... No, this is now the thing. We will roll the die. For sure, for all the other AI players. So we will now roll for the genetic farmers. That's a 4. Didn't they roll a 4 before? I don't know. And then we will do for the slavers, which are on 2. They're at 3. So let's have a quick look at their growth action. So the genetic farmers rolled a 4. So they will research robotics, which again is a bummer. Are you kidding me? And then the 3, they will research propulsion and they will spawn ships at 1 wormhole, so they will come again. But anyway, I do note now we are not changing the turn order for them, which is always the first thing that you are doing. And I think I kind of played that incorrectly during my last video, but back then it didn't really matter too much. So we are starting from the lowest player to roll up. So we are taking this and exchanging this with that. So this could help us alone to move our folks closer to where we need to be. So at least sending this ship up here and maybe sending reinforcements there. So that was the first thing that they're doing. Then we will now really do the normal growth action, which is this. They're researching robotics, easy as that. They are done. And then it's us. And we will take our freebie here. So we are taking over Alpha Centauri. We are colonizing this with our free action here. So we are bringing another disc in here. We only need 1 ship in order to do that. Then we will take this one. Yeah, we have to take this one. This time I will play it right. So we are bringing 3 discs out here onto Giza. So we have taken over this planet as well, and now we have gained the star. We also gain this level of technology, which increases our robotics. Right, then we are growing, and this is somewhat of an odd duck, quite honestly. First of all, you can grow all the colonies that are basically below their so-called growth limit. The growth limit is equal to the amount of hexes that this system is away from another inhabited planet. And that it doesn't matter if it's your world or another player's world. So let's take an example here. The growth limit for Aldebaran is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, or the closest one. So we can basically increase that up to level 3 for now, which is pretty cool. So let's totally do that. Then we will do the same for Alpha Centauri here, which is also a 3. Down here, Bernard stars, they are already at 3. 1, 2, 3. We can't grow that any further, but up here at Giese, we can do that because it's definitely more than 3 spaces away from anything inhabited up here. So that's really cool. So getting these remote stars out early, I see that now, already makes sense. Those were all of my growth actions. Next, I shouldn't forget my bonus growth action from my genetics. That was the main reason why I increased that. And the bonus here, completely ignoring this growth limit value at all. So in this case, I almost forgot that. Let's take this sucker here. So that's 20 victory points already, if that would be the end result. Let's move that up here. And depending on their movement, we are now kind of safe, because in order to take this system over now with 5 discs, they have to come with 6 ships. Of course, they have 10 here. If they would move towards my star, then yes, they will move towards my star. There's nothing I can do. Now, maybe this was a stupid idea. But okay, I'm learning as I go. But those were basically my growth actions. Last but not least, it's the slavers. Again, they are increasing their propulsion, so I can no longer outrun them right away. And then I think they are spawning again. And their spawning value is still a 2, right? Plus the 3. Yeah, it's still a 5. Where do they do that? So again, I will roll that randomly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. They are coming over here with a very, very strong fleet. Okay, that's definitely, that's worrisome for sure. That is worrisome. We may want to try maybe we should try to make peace. Could also trade with them, right? Okay, interesting. Yeah, but that's basically their growth phase. I have to put aside 4 more ships, because again, they will start forming fleets once they're running out of ships. So here on the right hand side, these are the available ships, and as soon as I have to start moving around, I will then also exchange these ship counters maybe into actual ships or whatnot. But really moving these stacks of whatever 5 ships each around is definitely not pretty to do. Okay, I think that's that. In theory, we could trade. Unfortunately, we can only trade with the genetic farmers. We are in contact with them. We could try to make peace actually with the slavers. They would accept that, I think, on a roll to 1 to 2, so maybe we should try that. We can't trade with the genetic farmers because we're really at the exact same level in each of these technologies. That's really such a waste. That's totally not going my way. But yeah, let's try to make peace with the slavers. So again, we are rolling a die, and we either want to see my JPlay logo here or a 2. JPlay logo being a 1. And no, that's not good enough. That was a 4. We are not making peace, or rather they are not making peace with us. So last thing to do is to score. We don't get the bonus point because we are not evil, but we are at war with one other civilization, so we gain 1 point for that. Then we are moving into the next era of darkness, and again the genetic farmers are the starting players. So their movement, it's again, I think that was they keep on rolling a 4. Yeah, and they're moving basically back and forth, right? Does it have to be an inhabited star? No, the nearest star could be either of those actually. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It could be really all of them. And yeah, shame on me, I still didn't bring my 10-sided or 8-sided die with me. The 8-sider, no, but I have a 4-sider actually. I think I have a 4-sider. This nice one here. No, this one as well, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's actually 5. So we would need a 10-sided die. So we are rolling, and we are re-rolling on a 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're moving down here. Again, it doesn't really matter too much, but at least we are still in contact down there with them. The problem is this ship up here is really frightening. It really is. Then it's us, and yeah, the idea was to move this ship up here. Question is, do we want, I think we shouldn't really keep moving any further, right? if we would have more ships up here, then yes, but right now these are 10 ships basically each that would go after me. So anything I'm now planning, I'm basically wasting my actions. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So maybe let's not do that. The question now really is, would it make sense to move basically these ships now out here and this ship up? Because then I would make it. The problem is I do know they have something where they would move towards the center region. But right now with this fleet, they wouldn't be able to take it over. My homeworld is far too strong for them to conquer it, right? They need +1, basically. And I think they don't have any sort of terrible fleet. If we are bringing over these fellas and this guy would move down here, I think we would be basically both toast. Which would be okay, because then this fleet, or it's not really a fleet, this group of ships, I think we will really start talking about an actual fleet when we are bringing out these fleet holders here. Right now it's still simply a group of 5 ships, but this group of ships, I think we could get rid of it to some extent. So I think let's try that. So we are moving these ships over here for now. We could transform them into a fleet actually. And oh, that could be a thing actually. So we could, yeah, that's good. Let's totally do that. Let's totally do that. So we are forming our first fleet. We can do that at the start of our movement, basically the first thing that is. So this is a 3. And I think, do we have a 3? Yes, we do have a 3. So again, we are using ship holders here. And then I get to assign basically a fleet counter, a fleet marker into that. So I get to choose which kind of fleet I'm forming. So up here, I could destroy them actually. If I form an assault fleet now, no, I can't reach them. Oh, that's so bad. But I still think let's do that, right? I could also, because I could also form a fleet up there, which would give me a +2 per ship, but only if they are coming with an assault fleet. Okay, that's the thing. It's not really a defense fleet per se. It's only basically countering the assault fleet. That's what it is. It's not an automatic defense fleet also. So maybe I think having this fleet up here wouldn't necessarily help me, other than maybe forming an evade fleet. So we can still evade, then we could protect our ships there, but I don't know. So I guess no, we will form an assault fleet here. We will move the fleet over here and we will put the ship into this fleet. So we basically, and we can do that on the fly while we are moving. I think we have 4 somewhere exactly. So we are moving this 3 fleet, 1, 2, 3 over here. We are also annihilating this ship in here. We are placing this on top of this. So this is now our assault fleet. Normally in a multiplayer game, this would all be face down, of course. Even the fleet counters or the other players wouldn't know what is hitting them until we are fighting them. Right now, that's the thing. So we are, and I think in this case, we don't even need the fleet holder. We are simply putting the fleet counter on top of it. It's only one thing. I think we can still identify this group here as a fleet because they have the fleet counter on it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to directly hit them. This would have been my preference, but in order to move into a nebula hex, we would need to spend 2 movement points in only 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally I would have been okay. In this instance, this was simply bad, because then I think I would have destroyed them actually. This really could have removed those suckers. But okay, it is what it is. I'm not taking things back now. Down here, we are not moving because I think we may want to take over this star. I have to think about this. And yeah, we already kind of moved this ship here. Again, I could have formed a fleet and maybe I should have. Maybe let's simply do that. Again, I would have been able at start of my turn to form a fleet in this one here, then this ship would have entered it. So I think let's make this a counter assault fleet. Just in case, basically just in case if they're coming with an assault fleet, I have the counter assault fleet. So maybe something to consider. But then unfortunately it's the slavers. They will roll for their movement. Let's see. That's again a 4. I keep rolling these 4s. I'm not sure what's wrong with this die. And here it says all ships move to any star. Any star. That's, I think, the worst result. Within range other than their own. If there are none, then they move as close as possible to the nearest one. Okay, any star. So, and we have to do that now hex by hex actually. And I think now things get a little bit messy, because let's start with this ship group up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they can reach all the star systems up here. So we're rolling 2d8, right? 2d4. Where do I start? Let's go from left to right, basically. So from top to here. So this is the last result in this case. And that's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this ship group is moving over here, which could mean they're taking over this world. We are not flipping this because right now we are there. Then let's do the same here. And this group can also go for Neperu. So I believe they can reach 6 systems. And again, I will start from here. I will roll my 6-sided die now for this group. And that's a 2, 1, 2. We are doing the same thing. 1 and 2, 3. That's okay. They will still be able to take over a planet. And down here, they will be able to reach all 7 systems because they get a +2 as they are starting in this nebula. So again, I have to roll the 2d4s here. And again, we start up here. So that's a 4, right? 1. Wait a second. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they will come down here actually. Is that a thing? I mean, we could roll an 8. 8 would be a 7. So this would be a 4 actually. Oh, did I play that incorrectly? I think this needs to be a 4 because otherwise we would never reach the 7, right? Ah, yeah, this is... but I don't have a 7-sided die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think if we simply leave it, so basically following the same logic, let's do that to be fair. So they will move down here, but this also means we are having a combat down there, and I think we will lose that combat for sure. We will decrease it down. They're basically at war with each of us. Yeah, that's going to happen. So they have moved all their ships. Now we are fighting. We are both at war with them, which means we are combining our forces. So we will see our first combat. Again, they will come with 5 ships. We have only 2, which is good. So they are not outnumbering us 3-1, because otherwise we would simply be dead. So in this case, we can't retreat because we have the same propulsion, and we could also in theory retreat if our spirituality value would be higher than, but that's also not the case for all of us. We simply have to fight here, and we don't have any evasion fleet whatsoever. So this means they will definitely win this war. That much is clear. That won the battle. Then we are checking for casualties. The slavers will always basically take all the opponents out. The winner can decide how many ships they are destroying. Take that. Then, depending on the ratio, if they have 3-1, for example, at least 3-1 in respect to their combat strength, they wouldn't lose anything. Right now they're at 5, not at 6, which means they are below that threshold, which is definitely a good thing in this case, which means they also have to take a hit, and that's half of the ships they are destroying. They destroyed 2, which means their fleet is going down. It's not a fleet to 4, which maybe could become beneficial at some point in time, but basically both of the ships are out. So we do know what the genetic farmers are doing the next round. They will simply respawn, but we can't trade with them, which is definitely kind of a pity. But yeah, that was the first combat gone, and then I think, yeah, we are moving into the growth phase, and yeah, we definitely need more ships. We can't take over this piece here, and they will be able to do that. They're just above this threshold. This is bad. The thing now is, do we want to research or not? I think we need ships. That goes without saying, right? And we can build, I think, 6-7 ships in total, which is not bad. But then again, do we want to grow or do we want to research? And if we research, we are not increasing our turn order, which I think is okay, but I think I want to up I think we have to up our military. We have to do that. So we are researching here. and we will go for military, because the next level, each of our ships counts for 2 combat points. Right now it was 1 versus 1. It's basically the same for both of us, but if we are really getting an advantage here, we will outnumber them relatively easily. They will totally do that as well at certain points, but I think we need to do that. On the other hand, we could research down here to get even more ships, but no, I think let's go for military when it's our turn. Of course, we now have to roll for our opponents. The genetic farmers will automatically spawn a ship. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5, 6, which is over here. Okay, that's not too bad. I prefer that actually over the other sector, because then we could start trading, but they're not researching. I was really hoping for them to give me technology like crazy, but they're not doing that. So that's their role, and that's relatively easily done. Then we roll for the slavers, and their growth is a 3, which means they will research propulsion again. They will be incredibly fast, and they will spawn ships again at a wormhole. These are really, these are the rats of the galaxy. Yeah, but again, we are first actually, or basically before them. And in this case, it really does matter. If they would be before us, I would see where they would be coming out, where they would be spawning. Right now, I don't have that information. So overall, I get now my 7 ships, right? So we have 6 ships from our population track plus the 1 from our robotics. And for whatever reason, it drives me crazy that the heading for these things is below that track. More than once did I stumble upon that where I said, oh, did they already increase their propulsion? No, it's not. That's a really weird design choice actually. Anyway, we get 7 ships in total, and we can bring them out wherever we have 4+ things. So the question now really is, how bad of the situation is it up here? I mean, we have, right, this is the counter fleet. So maybe, do we want to bring them to 3 at least? Or to 5. So let's bring 3 ships up here to make this, and we can immediately move them into the fleet. At least I think we can do that. Yeah, that's fully legal. We can either take ships or this. In this case, yeah, we have taken those 3. So we have already covered those 3, right? The remaining 4 we will bring down here. And we don't have a fleet here. We cannot form a fleet. I think that's the exception. We can't really form a fleet at this stage, but we can add ships to a fleet. So this has to stay a normal, let's say, group of 4 ships. But as soon as we would, for example, move them over here, we would be okay. But this is our assault fleet, so we should be able to take out those guys down here rather sooner than later. Then let's not forget, we are also researching our military, which means we are increasing our military strength by 1 for each ship in a group or in a fleet or whatnot. So this can become pretty massive. I take that. And then last but not least, we have the slavers. They will research propulsion again, so they can jump between own stars. I think they are using the Stargate technology as well, but their base speed hasn't changed. That's at least something, but we still have to spawn a group of ships. That's still 5 for now. So we know the drill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wow, they're coming down here. What do you think about that? So obviously they will not immediately engage into a combat with the genetic farmers. This can only happen after they have moved. Question now really is, will they fight or will they move out first? I think we really have to look at their target selection. Typically they are going after stars rather than individual ships. At least I think. I have to check that when it happens during the next round. So that's that. In theory we could trade, but no, we can't, because we are not in the same sector with another player, that is, unfortunately. So we can't do that. We can still try to make peace actually, but I really don't know what good it would bring, because I think on 3 of 6 results they would declare war against us anyway, and if they're going for one of our colonies here, they will also immediately declare war, right? But why not Let's try that. No, we don't want. Of course, we get a point for that. Absolutely not. We are not trying to make peace with them. Haha, what are you thinking? So that's our trade. And then last but not least, we get our point because we are still at war with one other civilization. Then we are moving into the next round of the game. So ultimately, the game is really progressing relatively fast. I still waste a lot of time talking you through my thought processes and taking stuff back and whatnot. So yeah, bear with me. I really hope I can increase the pace from here. And I also think I will end my playthrough for today. Before I forget, another huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. Again, I really absolutely appreciate all your support. Really big deal, or means a big deal to me. Thanks so much. So if you want to support my little channel, you will find a link to Patreon. You can join me here on YouTube. You can click that little thanks button beneath the video. Definitely like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps. And yeah, really let me know what you think about this game, what I should be doing. Also make me aware of any rule scoofs I keep doing. Relatively certain I may have missed the occasional 1 or 2 things, or 10. You know which channel you are watching here, but I still hope you are enjoying the playthrough so far. I certainly do. Really enjoying this. A lot of very excruciating decisions you have to take throughout the game, and something I definitely do enjoy. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.